The floorboards groaned under my weight, each creak echoing in the suffocating silence. My phone, untouched for days, lay face down, a symbol of everything lost since the scandal broke. My career, reputation, identity, gone in a storm of headlines and whispers. I became a ghost in my own life, haunted by betrayal and the venom of strangers. The world outside moved on, but inside, time had stopped. I stared at my reflection, barely recognizing the hollowed eyes staring back. The storm had passed, but it had taken everything with it. Days blurred together, the silence thick with echoes of laughter and praise that now felt like mockery. I replayed every decision, searching for the moment everything cracked. Isolation became my only companion, my apartment a tomb. Even sleep brought no escape, only nightmares of my downfall. I was trapped in a loop of regret, a prisoner of my own thoughts. Before you read on, pause. Think about your own silent battles. The first step toward the light is admitting you're in the dark. Change didn't come with a sudden revelation, a blinding flash of insight, or a dramatic turn of events that swept me off my feet. It wasn't the kind of transformation you read about in books, where everything clicks into place in an instant. It was far more subtle, more gradual, and perhaps more real. It started with a single, almost imperceptible act, a tiny seed of hope planted in the barren landscape of my despair. I remember the moment vividly. My phone had been dead for days, a symbol of my disconnection from the world. I charged it, half expecting only a barrage of negativity, a torrent of hate and judgment. I anticipated the worst, but instead I found a message, a lifeline thrown to me from an unexpected source, an old mentor, someone I hadn't spoken to in years. His message was simple, yet profound. The strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire. Call me. It was an invitation, a challenge, a beacon in the darkness. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, I felt a flicker of curiosity, a tiny spark of interest ignite within me, a question mark replacing the period at the end of my sentence. Making that call was terrifying. My hand trembled as I held the phone, my heart pounded in my chest, but the alternative, staying trapped in the prison I had built for myself, was infinitely worse. The fear of stagnation outweighed the fear of reaching out. My mentor listened patiently, without interruption, offering no empty platitudes, no quick fixes, just a safe space for my pain, a non-judgmental ear to absorb my story. His advice, when it came, was surprisingly simple, almost disarmingly so. He said, "Get out of the house, feel the sun on your face, just walk to the end of the block." It sounded so small, so insignificant. But in that moment, it felt monumental, a Herculean task. And that simple act, that walk to the end of the block, that was my first step back into the light. The next morning arrived, casting long shadows and a sense of foreboding. The weight of what I had to do pressed down on me, heavy and suffocating. I stood at my door, my hand hovering over the cold metal of the handle. My heart pounded a frantic rhythm against my ribs, a drumbeat of anxiety screaming in my ears. Fear was a tangible thing, a knot in my stomach that tightened with every breath. Hoodie up, a shield against the world, I forced myself to step outside, each movement deliberate, each breath measured. Just to the end of the block, a small victory in a landscape of overwhelming dread. The familiar streets seemed alien, each house a judging eye, but no one noticed me. The world continued its relentless march, oblivious to the turmoil within me. I was anonymous, swallowed by the city's vastness, and that anonymity, surprisingly, was freeing. It was a chance to disappear, to shed the weight of expectation and judgment. Each day, my mentor, a beacon in the fog of my despair, gave me a new mission, small manageable tasks designed to chip away at the wall I had built around myself. Walk farther, push the boundaries of my self-imposed prison. Buy coffee, a simple transaction, a tiny interaction with the outside world. Make eye contact, a fleeting connection, a reminder that I was still part of the human tapestry. Every small act, every tiny step forward, stitched my tattered confidence back together, thread by painstaking thread. I started a journal, a safe space to record my thoughts, my fears, and my tentative triumphs, tracking tiny victories, proof, however small, that I still had agency. that I could still exert some control over my life. This was how I began to rebuild, brick by painstaking brick, not with grand gestures or sweeping pronouncements, but with small, consistent steps, each one a testament to my resilience. I was learning slowly but surely to separate my identity from my failure, to understand that I was more than the sum of my mistakes. The small steps built momentum, revealing glimpses of who I could become. My mentor's next challenge: confront the lie itself. I gathered every article, every comment mapping my own destruction. The narrative was full of cracks, manipulated quotes, out of context facts. I crafted my response, calm, factual, undeniable. I recorded a video speaking my truth, drawing a line between my mistakes and the fabrications. Uploading it was terrifying, but I'd survived worse. I was no longer a victim, I was reclaiming my story. At first, there was only silence. A profound, echoing silence that seemed to fill every corner of the room, every crevice of my mind. It was a silence born of shock, of disbelief, of the sheer weight of what had transpired. A silence that threatened to consume me whole. Then, a tidal wave of support flooded in. An unexpected surge of kindness and solidarity that crashed against the walls of my isolation. My phone buzzed incessantly, each notification a beacon of hope in the darkness. Friends, old and new, and even strangers reached out, their words a comforting balm to my wounded spirit. Connections were forged in the fires of shared experience, bonds strengthened by the simple act of being there for one another. People began sharing their own stories, their voices rising in a chorus of resilience and defiance. Testimonials poured in, each one a testament to the power of vulnerability and the importance of speaking truth to power. The narrative, once carefully constructed to silence and shame, began to shift. The weight of lies started to crumble, replaced by the solid foundation of truth and authenticity. My truth, long buried beneath layers of fear and self-doubt, was finally being heard. It was a breakthrough moment, a turning point in the long and arduous journey toward healing. But the battle isn't over. The fight for justice and accountability continues. Scars remain, etched deep into my soul, and some lies, insidious and persistent, still linger in the shadows, threatening to resurface. But I walk with my head held high, with a newfound sense of purpose and determination. Not because I'm perfect, or because I have all the answers, but because I'm resilient. I have weathered the storm, and I have emerged stronger on the other side. Then, a chilling message arrived. A stark reminder that the past is never truly gone. A photo of me at my window, just taken, sent anonymously. A clear indication that I was being watched, my every move scrutinized. "We know you're back," the message read, its words laced with menace. "This isn't over. The fight is far from finished. A new battle looms on the horizon, dark and ominous. What truth do you need to speak? What lie must you confront within yourself and within the world around you? Share your story below, let your voice be heard, and join the growing chorus of truth tellers. The comeback is just getting started, and together we will rewrite the ending.